Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining the HVAC Mergers and Acquisition podcast. On this podcast, we're talking about how to prepare your HVAC company to get the best price and best terms for your business when you sell. Also, how do you acquire HVAC companies and how do you merge HVAC companies together? So anything HVAC mergers and acquisition related, we'd love to help. If you'd like more information, go to www.scaleorexit.com. Okay, today we're going to be talking about how to minimize the transition time after an acquisition. So typically after, and almost always, I haven't heard of a time where this didn't happen. After an acquisition, there is a transitional period where you have to hand the business off to the new buyer. And that takes time, usually a minimum of 6 months, right? But the question is, how do you minimize that time? Because sometimes investors want you to stay on for years as an employee. And many owners, existing owners don't like that, right? They started their business and they've been an entrepreneur for a reason. They don't like being an employee. So how do you minimize that time? Well, one way is to have documented systems, have documented operational plans and details about your business to make that transition as easy as possible. Also, have team members in place that are running your business, right? So the more you can distance your company from your company, the better, to where you have team members in place that are managing the company, to where you could go away for months on a vacation and your business wouldn't fall apart. And by the way, that's a pretty good, if you want to test this out, go on vacation for a little while and see what happens. And if there's issues, you'll probably get some insight on what you need to to adjust your business a bit. Another thing is flexibility on the terms of your business. If you are looking to get a lot of capital up front, right, where you get as much capital as possible, a lot of times the transitional period is going to be a little bit longer because that's more risk, right? So the more risk on the buyer side, the more they're going to try to mitigate that risk. And one way to mitigate that risk is to keep the seller around as long as possible. And every buyer is a little bit different when it comes to that. But those are three ways to help with that process. So one, have documented processes in place. Have a team. Number two, have a team that can run your business when you're not there. And three, have some flexibility on the terms of your sell, because sometimes if you're flexible on the terms of the sell, you get a higher price for your business, make the transition process easier, and make the acquisition process easier. So hopefully you found that helpful, and stay tuned for future episodes of the HVAC Mergers and Acquisition podcast.